Hello guys, welcome to another driving test video. So this was a test at Rotherham Driving Test Center on Monday the 20th of November 2023. The time for the test was 9:07 in the morning. So this test was a fail with two serious faults and couple of minor faults actually. So 4, 7, 9, 11, 12, 13 minor faults. So actually that tops the list. So this is the highest fault on any driving test for this year that I've covered. So yep, it's gonna be interesting. So let us see. Now, but an interesting bit that you need to look out for though is that one of the faults was actually not a serious fault. It was just a reoccurring minor fault, and I want you to keep this in mind because a lot of the times people don't think that they can fail for a minor fault, but this is the case here. And I'm gonna make another short video comparing the situation on a test where the learner failed for no serious fault at all. So look out. Now the serious fault here was for moving off safety, and the second one was response to signs and signals. So particularly that was at traffic lights. Now the first one, which is moving off, is actually the one that was a minor fault. So the learner had that fault three times, which was given for minor, and automatically it was made a serious fault because it's been three times. So that is what you've got to keep in mind. So pay attention to that. So yep, and that's really it. So everything else, we got progress, appropriate speed, that was four times. We've got move off safety three times, which is the one that became the serious fault. So we got control steering two times. We got junctions observation, we got that one, and then we've got position in normal driving one. So that would be if you're not positioning well during your driving. If it's positioning normal stop, that would be when you pull up on the left. If you haven't pulled up closely or you've pulled up too far into the road, then that would be the position in normal stop. So yeah, let us get into the video and see what we can learn and see if we can pick out the where the faults have occurred. So yep, they're right there. That's me coming into the car. Examiner wanted me to take something off the dashboard. So yep, and that's why you've got me running into the car. But that's it, and let's get onto the road and see what we can pick out on this test. So remember, if you're having your test, stay calm, please. It is not, the end of the world. In fact, if you're not relaxed and you're anxious, you're more likely to fail. So try and stay calm so that you're able to think clear, so that you're able to focus ahead, you're able to pay attention to the road, and you're able to make the right decisions, because sometimes you can see things but not react to them, or react but react wrongly to them. So try and be calm. It is easier said than done, but that's the best option you've got anyways. So yep, here as you can see, they're heading up, so there's no parking at the beginning of this test. If there was, then yes, you would have seen them doing that parking at this point before moving off. So head out they are. At the roundabout ahead, the opportunity the learner took was a very narrow escape, and you should be careful taking such opportunity. So as you would see now, we are now on Magam Way or Magam Road, which is 40 miles per hour on this road, and so far we're driving below 30 miles an hour. So I would assume there would have been one minor fault here. So keep in mind we have four minor faults for progress appropriate speed. So I wouldn't be surprised. Let's just count this as one. So now they are approaching Parkgate roundabout, and this time they're taking the first exit on the left. If you haven't watched the previous test I posted, look at that on the playlists. On that video, they went straight ahead, second exit, and the learner did fail at that point because of lane discipline. At the traffic light ahead, the driver is turning right, and this is where they got the first serious fault. So the examiner explained that the learner approached the traffic light, slowing down and preparing to stop, but then for some reason did not end up stopping and tried to move on again. So the examiner had to stop the car. So there, right there, traffic light is changing, and there we go. Car is passing the light, slows down to a stop, and moves off again. There you go. And then examiner stops the car right there. So I don't know. This could have been a matter of concentration. It is common that in situation like this, it probably would have been where the learner wasn't too sure where he's turning to, and because of that, you're trying to look out for which road it is that you missed the light out of lack of concentration at that light. And that was it. So that was unfortunately the first serious fault. Sadly, and simple as it is, a very common simple traffic light. But if you're not focused, if you're distracted, these things can happen. So you want to try and relax, pay attention to traffic lights, and try and avoid situations like this, unfortunately. So yeah, that's it. And at the mini roundabout ahead, the learner got another driving fault. So mounted the pavement while crossing the mini roundabout. So this could have happened while the driver was trying to pay attention to the right, and then hits the curb right here. Remember that when you're approaching roundabouts, you should be preparing to stop. So reduce your speed well enough so that it is safe. That in any event, if you have to stop to give way to cars at the roundabout, then you'll be able to stop safely. And then that would also give you time to avoid situations like this where you hit the curb, because you have enough time to quickly glance to the right and then look forward again without having traveled a long distance. So keep this in mind. Reduce your speed, prepare to stop, quick glance, look forward again, and if you still have to check, then that means you might be considering to stop to then check again. So right here, I believe is going to be the first pulling up on the left on the test so far. Now keep in mind that there were 3 driving faults, so 3 minor faults for move off safety, which later was then turned to a serious fault. So perhaps this might just be one of it. So examiner did complain that he consistently was moving off without checking the blind spot. So this is very important. Remember, very, very important. Don't forget your blind spot when you're moving off. So we can't see the interior of the car, but we would just assume that was one of it. And here they're pulling up on the left again. But anyway, so if you notice right there again, we just mounted the curb again, so that completes the second steering control fault. So yeah, unfortunately. The space at the traffic light ahead was tight, and if you look at the Range Rover, this is a bigger vehicle, which caused it to go slightly on top of the line, forcing it a bit now into our lane. Now, the learner is trying to squeeze into this space here. I'd suggest and encourage you in situations like this to wait. Don't try and squeeze yourself through such space until the car has moved on. Be careful. But then on a second look, it actually looked more like if the learner was confused by the filter traffic light and wanted to move on with the left green arrow, but then realized that was for left turns only. If you're taking note of the signs, then you'd realize now that we're now in a national speed zone. So let's pay attention to see how much progress the driver makes here, because we had 4 minor faults for appropriate speed. So at the moment we have managed to get above 50, which is good. So national speed limit here would be 60. The learner must have seen a slow sign on the floor ahead and then slow down the speed. So right here. But that would not be necessary because that's just a sign, reminding you of your speed. If you were approaching too fast, especially considering the junction on the right. But at that point, we were just about 40 miles an hour or so. And then dropping it to about 35 was not the right situation, or sorry, right decision there. So I believe there would have been a minor fault given for appropriate speed for this road, because I didn't really see much progress on the whole stretch of this road. The learner was supposed to take the turn on the left right here, but missed the turn. So mixed this turn and then confused it with the lay-by ahead. Now, of course, missing a road or a turn is not a fault. So that is no fault at all for that. So keep this in mind. Don't try and take an unsafe turn just because you don't want to miss a road. So if you miss a turn, just continue. The examiner would give you the next instruction. But of course, try and pay attention so that you're identifying your turns and not missing too much turns, because at the end of the day, you could also be given a serious fault if you miss too many turns, because then it's either you are not able to drive independently or you're not able to follow instructions. So yep, a genuine missing a turn because of safety or last minute or so, it's not a big deal. But you can't just use that as a getaway to avoid taking places or roads that you think you might struggle with. Now I noticed that a couple of the turns were actually done at a higher speed, and when this happens, that's probably because again, learner is identifying the road late. Hence, why I'm assuming this would have led to the two minor faults for signals. So if you look at the signals fault, there is timed on it. So that means there was a signal, but the timing was not correct. So maybe late signal. So yeah. So at this point, they are actually now heading back to the test center, and that would have been it. So far, those are what we're able to pick out. The other faults, obviously, the things that would have been done from inside, such as the signals, and we wouldn't have been able to see that from the outside. But yes. Oh, okay. So why has the learner changed into the right lane here? That's unusual. So I believe that was what the examiner mentioned actually, that he changed lane and he was wondering why did he change into the right lane. So yeah, unnecessary lane change there. So yeah, but anyway, so coming back to the test center now please guys, don't forget, if you find these videos useful, remember to like, share, and leave a comment if you've got any questions at all. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please don't forget subscribe to the channel. That would really help. And if you wish to support the channel financially, then don't forget, use the super thank icon at the bottom of the videos. If you scroll to the right, you would see the icon there. Anything would be very appreciated. It's gonna help the channel, tools and time and all of that. But anyways, back to the test. So this was unfortunately a fail, but what you've got to keep in mind here is the moving off safety fault. This is to remind you that you might even still fail a test even if you did not get a serious fault. Having a minor fault 3 times consecutively or reoccurring could give you a serious fault also. I have a test from a learner who contacted me after failing a test last week, and it was also because of that. He got 2 serious faults, and those were just from minor faults that accumulated. So keep this in mind. Try and drive as good as you can. Stay calm, pay attention on the road. Don't be too anxious or nervous, and you'll be fine. So this is it for this test, and this was again 20th of November 2023, and I believe this probably would be the last test I would be having in Rotherham. That is if I didn't do one after that I posted before this, but I believe this would be it for me for Rotherham for this year. So Merry Christmas to you all in advance. Have a wonderful happy new year also in advance. And if you've got your test before the end of the year or before the year wraps up, best of luck with your driving test. And don't forget, have a fabulous Christmas and a wonderful new year. So of course I'm going to be posting a few more videos for other test centers, so if you want, you can look at those as well. So yep, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, have a blast, peace.